I thought that they were coming. They said they responded that they were coming, but we're going to go ahead and start as we're past 3 o'clock. So first of all, I want to welcome everybody, and what I'd like to do is just go around the table for the members of the group and introduce yourself and tell us who you're with. I think everybody knows one another, but this is being recorded, by the way, and then we will post this on our webpage shortly after. So I'll start it and say I'm Dave Freeman. I'm the Chief of Operational Services for Flagler County Schools and also working as the planner, basically.
Corey Bush, Director of Plant Services, Flagler County Schools.
I'm Ray Tyner, City of Palm Coast Deputy Chief Development Officer.
Adam Mengel, Growth Management Director for Flagler County.
Sean Moylan, Deputy County Attorney.
Christine Hancock, City of Benel.
Hi, Chris Wilson, Council for Flagler Public.
All right. We are trying to follow the Section 2.1 of the ILA, which outlines when the working group should meet and the information provided at each meeting. And I sent everybody an email on February the 15th kind of outlining that. And if we can go to our agenda slide, thank you. This is the agenda for today's meeting. I have a section on here for the municipalities to provide something to share with the group if they have it. Flagler Schools, we're going to share our enrollment data from both October the 22nd and from February 23. Also showing an update on reservations, and I've provided that in our slides for you. And I made sure that we had a better copy of the table so you could read it. And if you'd like a copy of this presentation, I'd be happy to email it to you. The local governments, the ILA outlines that the local governments at this meeting will provide a population projections, development trends, any amendments to the comprehensive plans. And then we will discuss some of the requirements for the oversight committee and the date that we need to agree on when that date is, because we have 2 dates that we can choose from, and then we'll end the meeting with public comment. So if we go to the next slide. This is our student enrollment data. This is data, the student enrollment data is from October of 22. We always use the October date. This is the same slide minus the reservation numbers that I presented to the group in December. Greg, I can give you a copy if you'd like a copy.
Yeah.
A little bit of,
Oh, right there.
there's, and that has a copy in it there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I have been reaching out to the municipalities and updating our reservations. Many of you have received emails from me. I know Patty in the past was getting the permitted data, and she was only updating that once a year. I think that we need to update that at least quarterly. And so from this point forward, I would like to get the reservation COs from your developments, the developments that have COs, and I know City of Palm Coast and Flagler County have been able to, and the City of Benel have been able to do that for me by development and what COs, so that I can remove those reservations off this list and make sure that we are keeping that as up to date as possible. So if I could get that quarterly, probably the same time when you send in your impact fee numbers, that would be great.
So Dave, though, for the benefit of the public, the reason why that's important and that change is important is because, as we talked a lot about in all of our processes, the reservations and the long list of reservations and ghost seats that people talk about, this allows those to come off basically out
Right.
of the reserve capacity, which should create some more capacity as things are being built. And then the kids are going to show up in your counts.
That's
And we
right.
should see the actual generation rate.
Yeah, this is a copy of the spreadsheet that I maintain, those reservations, and I've been scrubbing this, and I've found, a couple mistakes, one with 55 and older that we were reserving. I've removed those to make sure that we're not reserving 55 and older, because we know, unless there's the CNR list that maybe 80% is going to be 55 and older, 20% would be, so I just reserved the 20% of whatever those numbers are. So it's been a good practice, at least for me, to go through and review that. And so I appreciate the help in getting those numbers. Are there any questions to the enrollment data? Again, this is from October of 22. This is our student count at that time. And if there's no questions on this slide, we can go to the next one. This is basically the same slide that we showed in December, and I had the October numbers, but I've included our February numbers. And you see that our February, from October to February, we, in Flagler County Schools, we grew 89 students, but in our charter school, we went down. Our homeschool numbers increased ever so slightly, and our private school data, if you remember from our December meeting, I stated that that was an estimate. I was able to get a hold of the Office of Independent Education and Parental Choice, which is a part of DOE, and they gave me that October, that number for the private school, and that is usually a year in behind. And I reached out and I got a message back from them today, matter of fact, stating that that won't come until the summer. So what we've been doing in the district is we've been reaching out to each of the 17 private schools in the county and asking for updated information. And some of it is like pulling teeth to try to get to them because they're not required to give us anything. So I have an incomplete number, so that's why I don't have anything at that slide right now. Go back to that slide. Are there any questions to this slide? Okay. Our projected student enrollment, part of this meeting by the ILA, it says that the school district should provide projections. However, you know that we've been without a planner since September. We have contracted with Davis Demographics for a 10-year demographic study to include population, household growth or decline, birth rates, and we will be issuing that PO in the next couple of days. It's an 8-week process. They will be reaching out to each of the municipalities to gather information from the municipalities, much like they did at the last time they did this study. And then they'll be also reaching out to our developers for updated information on projections on when they will be building out those developments.
Who did you contract?
It was with Davis Demographics. And I will send each of you a lead email as soon as I know who the person is that's going to be compiling that data. And we are, like I mentioned, it's an 8-week process. We will bring that forecast to our school board, and we are hopefully looking at the information brief in May. That would be the 3rd.
20th, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was at the 20th of May that we would bring that forecast to present to our board. And then at that time, I could provide a copy to each of the municipalities.
Do you know what their deliverables are going to be? What are they looking at?
Yeah.
16th, I think is the date.
Yeah, okay.
May 16th.
But I mean, the type of demographics are going to be focusing on.
Yeah.
23 May date.
23rd of May. They do a 10-year comprehensive detailed student forecast by residency. The final report has methodology, data utilized, discussion of findings, Karen.
I'm so sorry.
No
I got
worries.
stuck.
There's a slide packet right there.
Great, thanks.
Much like what they gave us before, they will also be doing a new student generation rate. As you know, in our ILA, we said that we wanted to do a student generation rate every year, and so we'll be updating our student generation rate at that time.
Dave, I don't know if it matters, but I think all of us use, we're obligated to Bieber numbers, and so I think we're all using Bieber medium. We'll have to see how that shakes out, but that's all stuff that kind of trickles down, and that's for state purposes of revenue sharing. You know, we're all given a chance to review that.
Okay.
I think it comes out August for the previous, I'm gonna get that wrong. Yeah, it's lagging. I think it's August, and then if we all get a chance to say if we agree with it, then it becomes the next year's, no.
June.
Yeah. Then it becomes the previous, it's previous April, become the April final number. And so they publish it like September, I think is when they publish it. Don't quote me on all that.
So if they were going to use the Bieber numbers, they would use August of '22 numbers.
That's right, because, that's right. That'd be the current data set for them.
Right, and
So-
they use the medium as opposed to a low or a high.
That's right.
Okay. All right, I will have that discussion with them. As soon as I write the PO or the PO gets signed, we'll have our first one-on-one meeting with them, so I'll make sure we discuss that with them. Okay. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, in accordance with the ILA, at this meeting, this is where the municipalities, local governments have an opportunity to present these items here: population projections, development trends, any amendments to the comprehensive plan. And I know City of Palm Coast has published their 22 annual report, which has some of that information. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share with the group, or?
No, I mean, we provided our annual growth report, and obviously we still continue to grow.
Okay. Adam, you got anything, or?
Still have probably the growth areas for us, or we're still anticipating Hunter's Ridge will be the preeminent area for the county, but we've talked about that. So far, all the development we've had is taken advantage of an age restriction and hasn't been particularly generating student stations. The ones we've had south of Airport Road have all had that 55 and over a restriction in the record. I do believe we will start having, well, we do have 2 pending plats north of Airport Road, and so I think we're going to start getting into that mode of having potential student generation, because these next 2 working title, Iris and Celadine, best I know, are not going to be age restricted, and so that'll be a first chance then. Good, maybe the school buses are already running down, I think, to Rima Ridge, and so hopefully that's not going to be anything new for you with routing, but it will start potentially generating students in that area. Otherwise, we are seeing a bit of a slowdown overall in new housing starts, but some of this is attributable to kind of the seasonal time. We usually have this every year right around this time, but we're also kind of watching the economy and trying to see what's happening. Whenever the prime interest rate starts to creep up, then things tend to slow in our world. So.
Yep. Okay. I know that there's a couple that I need to just finish.
I got to clean it up with you.
Yeah, bouncing
Yep.
back and forth
Yep.
with you with our reservations. So.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Damaris has been really good about helping me sending that information.
Good.
So, okay. All right. Flagler Beach, or?
No, at this point, I mean, we do have a lot of building going on, but most of it is mixed use and commercial. All of the building that we already projected for, we've already collected for, so I don't foresee another big housing development or anything else like that, not in the near future anyway.
Okay.
We're almost out of land.
Christine?
We may have a few things, and I can email everyone the things that we have coming up. As of right now, I don't have anything specific, but I will definitely send an email and copy everyone on it.
Okay. All right. You can go to the next slide. All right, this is our, what is required for the Oversight Committee according to 2.4 in our ILA. Our Oversight Committee says that we should, that it should meet on the second Thursday of May or June. And the second Thursday of May is May the 11th. The second Thursday in June is June 8th. If we are planning on presenting our forecast to our school board probably at the May information meeting, I would recommend the June meeting for the Oversight Committee. And I will go ahead and start coordinating that if everybody from the municipalities agrees with that, if we set that for June the 8th as our Oversight Committee.
I'm good with that on my end.
Okay. All right, so we'll start working with each of the local governments and making sure that those people that are on that committee or set that date aside. So we'll look for June the 8th. The ILA says that we should provide a document that includes these things that the municipalities would provide: population projections, development trends, approval of residential projects, build-out year, reserved capacity, etc. And then the Flagler School would provide this information over here. So, you know, I'll need a little bit of help from the municipality side to make sure that I get that information so that we can put that into the document. And I envision that that we have a section for each of the municipalities for City of Palm Coast, and then you would maybe have a narrative and then that information, any tables that you'd want to include in there or not.
Yeah, I think we have it all in our annual
Okay.
growth report.
Okay.
But we could probably provide, if you're gonna have like sections, we could probably provide an executive summary or something.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. Okay, so I'll be reaching out to each of you to provide that for the June 8th meeting.
Dave, is this the annual report to the Oversight Committee?
is.
Yes.
And we're supposed to get that to them by the 1st of April.
It is.
So that they have a chance to digest it and whatever it is they need to do with it. So
Yeah.
let's be mindful of that.
Yeah, I will not have my forecast by April 1st.
Yeah.
The one from Davis?
Yes. So that will be a late addition to it. I just won't have
So
it.
you would provide, in the draft that goes out, we could provide all as much information as we
Yeah, we
have.
can say we'll update
Leave
this
a-
when,
Leave a note in there that says, hey,
Placeholder.
we're underway
Yeah.
with this, and it'll be made available as soon as it's completed.
That
or
makes
something
sense.
like that.
One more thing to keep in mind, Commissioner Bryant is the elected official that's appointed. He's not running, so we're having an election in a few days. And a new city manager's coming in, so we're gonna have to figure out who's gonna be appointed, and I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, thanks for bringing that, Sean. That is the date that
Yeah, you're right.
in the ILA says the 1st of April. So we want to try to get that compiled and out to them as close to that date as
So
possible.
we said, I mean, when do you want? We've got City of Palm Coast, some information, I mean, a lot of information, but
Yeah, I think we just need to do an executive summary, we'll be good.
And then from the county and the others, sometime in
Realistic.
the next, by the
It
middle
gives
of
you
the month,
3 weeks.
No later than, yeah.
no later than the middle of the month.
Yeah.
Middle of the month would be maybe the 17th of March.
That gives you enough time to pull together.
That's 2 weeks and 1 day, 2 weeks from
Well,
tomorrow.
I'll have from there to tie, yeah, 2 weeks to tie it all together.
Yeah.
I think so.
You want to make sure that gives you enough time.
There's nothing against having it turned in early, right?
Right. Okay.
I know how that works.
All right, go back one slide there. Any questions on the Oversight Committee or comments? The ILA, I think, is pretty good. It spells out what we want to include in there, so just reference 2.4.
So I can let our commissioners know, Palm Coast was seeking a special meeting, or is that not happening? We'll wait for the June meeting?
I imagine.
Okay.
I need to get more direction.
Yeah,
If I have a
Topic.
direction.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
I had asked Jason for a topic, and he said he would get back with me, and I hadn't heard back from him.
Right,
So,
okay. Well, I'll just assume we'll meet in June.
Yes. That's what I was.
I don't know yet.
All right. Are there any questions for the working group, for each other, or for?
Yeah. We met with our finance department a couple weeks ago, and we were going through the process of, you know, how we are providing the funds to y'all, the impact fees on a quarterly basis, okay? And then there was a discussion for refunds, you know, where, let's say a project, you know, they pay their prop share, and there's certain refunds that may credit or what have you, or I think the discussion was we would rather, you know, we're collecting it, right? And then we're giving it back to y'all every quarter, and then they're coming, something that doesn't happen a lot, but coming to us for the refunds for a certain project, or let's say they have prop share, or you know, they're getting a refund. We would much rather it kind of come to the school district. I mean, we might not necessarily, if we're giving you all the money every quarter, right?
Yeah.
We may not have the money to give for a refund or a credit.
You're saying you want, if under the terms of the prop share agreement, they're entitled to a refund, you'd like the school board to make it
Yeah,
directly to them?
I'd like us to have that discussion.
Well,
Because we're distributing money back every quarter, right?
Right.
Or finance, and then, you know, there may be circumstances wherever refund, it just makes a mess for us. I mean, we're gonna end up
They're a party.
calling the Flagler schools, we don't have the money, can you give us the money? And then we give it to the applicant, right? Or the developer.
Why would there be a refund? I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
Because you get credits. Sometimes you get credits,
Credit.
back for your credits.
Yeah, I don't
Does
know.
does
I
the
may be a
prop
little
share
confused by
agreement provide for refunds, or?
I think there's one, I was just trying to pull it up,
Yeah.
and you're kind of catching me cold, I don't remember. I know we talked about this quite a bit, and I thought there was one scenario where,
Yeah.
I mean, once you pay and you start, like, you pull a permit or something, like, I think at
Yeah.
that point, you're invested and you're done, and you're not getting the money back. But I think there was.
There's some
So we
circumstances.
can look at it and
Yeah, let's look at it.
have that conversation.
Okay.
Along those same lines, I apologize for the city of Flagler Beach not sending the proper amounts on time. And apparently the building department never updated their system, so they weren't collecting the correct fees. So the city had to actually pay up. I believe that has been corrected.
yeah, I
but
think it has.
If it has not, somebody please let me know.
Okay, I will. We had talked about making sure that we get, when a development, when they pull a permit and they're starting their development, that if I could get a quarterly update for COs for that development so that I could remove those reservations off there. And I think I only have one for Flagler Beach on my list, and I can talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, let's figure that one out, because I know where the ball was dropped, but I want to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, okay. Ray, you had anything else?
No.
Okay. Any other questions, comments for the group before I open it up for public comment? Okay. Public comment? Okay. All right, so we decided we were going to get something back to me by the 17th, and that our meeting for the Oversight Committee was going to be on June 8th. And I will provide a draft to you after I put together this, what are we calling it again, the Oversight Committee, the annual report. When I put that together, I'll put it together as a draft and let everybody review it before we say that that's going to be sent to the Oversight Committee. And then there will be a placeholder, and I apologize, there'll be a placeholder for the forecast until I get that in.
Sounds good.
Okay? All right, if there is nothing further, that's all I have.